Welcome back to my YouTube channel Clarity Code. Our today topic is how to make savings from your salary. Let's start our audiobook. Introduction. You are not broke because your salary is too small. You are broke because your habits are expensive. Every month, money enters your hands and disappears. Not because life is unfair. Not because the economy is broken. But because nobody taught you the discipline of keeping money. Saving money is not about being rich. It is about becoming powerful. Because the moment you stop spending everything you earn, your life changes. In this audiobook, you are going to learn how ordinary salaries create extraordinary freedom, one decision at a time. Chapter 1. Stop spending to impress people. Most people are not broke because they earn too little. They are broke because they spend too much trying to look successful. That is the truth. Every day, millions of people wake up early, work long hours, feel exhausted, and still have nothing saved at the end of the month. Not because money never entered their hands, but because the moment money arrived, they rushed to spend it. A new phone, new shoes, expensive dinners, luxury brands, things they do not need. Why? Because they want approval. They want attention. They want to feel important. And that single habit quietly destroys their future. Understand this clearly. Looking rich and becoming financially free are completely different goals. One is performance. The other is power. Most people choose performance. That's why they stay trapped. You have a choice. Every salary is a test. The question is simple. Will you use your money to build freedom? Or will you use it to impress strangers? That's the key. Look carefully at modern society. People are buying things they cannot afford to impress people who do not care. A worker earns a salary on Thursday and by Saturday the money is gone. Not because rent destroyed them. Not because food destroyed them. Because ego destroyed them. The expensive watch. The unnecessary car payment. The designer clothing. The daily food delivery. Small decisions. Repeated for years. And then people wonder why they feel financially stressed every month. You must stop connecting self-worth to spending. That is where transformation begins. You do not become valuable because your shoes are expensive. You do not become important because your phone is new. You do not become respected because you sit in luxury restaurants every weekend. Real power is quiet. Real power is having savings. Real power is having options. Real power is not panicking when emergencies happen. But most people never reach that level because they are addicted to appearance. They spend money emotionally. That is dangerous. Because emotional spending creates permanent financial damage. You don't need their permission. You do not need strangers to approve your lifestyle. You do not need coworkers to admire your purchases. You do not need social media validation. And you definitely do not need to go broke trying to prove something. The people you are trying to impress are usually struggling too. Think about that. Many people driving expensive cars are drowning in debt. Many people wearing luxury brands have empty bank accounts. Many people posting glamorous lifestyles online are financially stressed in private. Appearances lie. Numbers do not. Savings tell the truth. Debt tells the truth. Financial discipline tells the truth. That's the key. You must train yourself to ask one question before every purchase. Do I need this? Or do I want attention? That question alone can change your financial future. Because most unnecessary spending comes from emotion, not necessity. A person feels sad. They shop. A person feels insecure. They upgrade something. A person feels pressured by friends. They overspend to fit in. This is not about money anymore. This is about identity. And if you do not control your identity, your spending will control your life. You have a choice. You can continue following the crowd, or you can become disciplined. It's not about deprivation. It's about control. There is a huge difference. Discipline is not punishment. Discipline is protection. Every real you refuse to waste is protecting your future. Every unnecessary purchase avoided is increasing your freedom. You must start seeing money differently. Money is not only for spending. Money is a tool. Money buys time. Money buys peace. Money buys opportunity. But only if you keep some of it. Most people never experience financial peace because they spend everything they earn trying to feel successful before they actually become successful. That habit destroys lives slowly. Not dramatically. Quietly. Month after month. Year after year. Until one emergency arrives. Then reality becomes visible. One medical issue. One job loss. One unexpected problem. And suddenly the person with the expensive lifestyle realizes they have no protection. No savings. No breathing room. No control. That is why this chapter matters. Because saving money begins with killing the need to impress people. You cannot save consistently while constantly performing for others. It is impossible. You must become comfortable looking ordinary while building an extraordinary future privately. That is real maturity. Silent discipline. Quiet progress. No showing off. No unnecessary proving. You don't need their permission. You do not need applause for being financially responsible. In fact, many people will misunderstand your discipline. They may call you cheap. They may mock your simplicity. They may pressure you to spend more. Ignore them. Because most people are financially trapped. Do not take money advice from financially undisciplined people. That's the key. The strongest people financially are often the quietest. They budget carefully. They avoid unnecessary debt. They save consistently. They think long term. And because of that, they eventually gain something most people never achieve. Freedom. Freedom from panic. Freedom from constant stress. Freedom from living paycheck to paycheck. Freedom from needing approval. That is the goal. Not fake luxury. Not temporary attention. Freedom. You must remember this every single month when your salary arrives. Your income is not a reward to destroy immediately. It is a responsibility. And every spending decision either strengthens your future or weakens it. Nothing is neutral. Every purchase has consequences. You have a choice. You can spend your salary proving something to the world. Or you can quietly build a life that cannot be shaken by emergencies, pressure, or fear. One path creates stress. The other creates strength. Choose carefully. Because repeated small decisions create your financial identity. And your financial identity creates your future. You stopped spending to impress people. Good. Now it is time to build the habit that changes everything. Because controlling spending is only the beginning. The next step is learning how to pay yourself before the world takes everything from you. Chapter 2: Pay yourself before you pay anyone else. Most people treat saving money like an afterthought. That is why they never save anything. They pay rent. They pay bills. They buy food. They shop online. They spend on entertainment. And then, at the end of the month, they look at what remains. Usually nothing. That system guarantees financial struggle. You must understand this immediately. If saving is your last priority, it will never happen consistently. That's the key. Financially disciplined people think differently. They do not save what is left after spending. They spend what is left after saving. Read that again. Because that single shift changes everything. You have a choice. You can continue giving everyone else your money first. Or you can start paying yourself first. Most people work all month only to reward stores, restaurants, banks, subscriptions, and impulsive desires. Meanwhile, their future receives nothing. That is backwards. You must become your first financial responsibility, not your last. The moment your salary arrives, a percentage must immediately move into savings. Immediately. Not later. Not after shopping. Not after just a few purchases. Immediately. Because delayed discipline usually becomes canceled discipline. That's the truth. You do not rise financially because of motivation. You rise financially because of systems. And systems remove emotional decision-making. A disciplined saver does not ask every month whether they should save. The decision is already made. Automatic. Non-negotiable. That's the key. You need a saving system that works even when you feel lazy. Even when you feel emotional. Even when temptation appears. Because emotions destroy consistency. Systems protect consistency. This is why automatic transfers are powerful. The moment your salary enters your account, part of it leaves immediately into savings. Before your brain starts negotiating. Before your emotions start justifying spending. Before lifestyle temptation begins. You remove the decision completely. That is discipline. And discipline creates freedom. You don't need their permission. You do not need society's approval to become financially disciplined. In fact, many people around you will never understand why you save aggressively. Because most people only understand consumption. They understand buying. They understand showing off. But they do not understand delayed gratification. They do not understand sacrifice. They do not understand long-term thinking. And long-term thinking is rare. That's why financial peace is rare. Most people want results without structure. That never works. Imagine two workers earning the exact same salary. The first person spends first and saves later. The second person saves first and spends carefully. 5 years later, their lives look completely different. One person has stress. The other has stability. One person panics during emergencies. The other remains calm. One person depends on luck. The other depends on preparation. The salary was not the difference. The system was the difference. You have a choice. Every month, you are either building financial protection or building financial pressure. Nothing stays still. Every month matters. Many people think saving small amounts is pointless. That belief keeps them broke. Because they underestimate consistency. A person who saves a small amount every month develops something more important than money. Identity. They become someone who keeps money. That identity changes behavior permanently. Saving is not only about numbers. It is about becoming disciplined enough to think about your future consistently. That's the key. The amount matters less than the habit in the beginning. A person who cannot save 5% of a salary usually cannot save 20% either. Why? Because the real issue is not income. The real issue is discipline. It's not about salary size. It's about financial behavior. There are people earning huge incomes living paycheck to paycheck. And there are people earning average incomes quietly building strong savings. Again, the difference is behavior. You must stop waiting for perfect conditions before saving. That day rarely comes. Life will always offer excuses. Unexpected expenses. Social pressure. Temptation. Comfort. But financially disciplined people save anyway. That's what separates them. Saving money must become automatic like breathing. Not emotional. not optional. Automatic. You should never feel guilty for saving money. Never. Some people act like protecting your future is selfish. It is not selfish. It is responsible. Because one day, your savings may protect your family. Your savings may protect your health. Your savings may protect your peace. People who save are not paranoid. They are prepared. There is a massive difference. Most financial suffering comes from lack of preparation. Not lack of intelligence. Not lack of potential. Preparation. That's the key. You must also understand the danger of lifestyle inflation. This destroys countless people silently. The moment their salary increases, their spending increases even faster. New apartment. New car. More expensive habits. More luxury. More pressure. And despite earning more money, they still feel financially trapped. Why? Because they upgraded expenses instead of upgrading savings. Never make that mistake. When income rises, savings must rise first. Always. That is how wealth grows quietly. Not through showing off. Not through pretending to be rich. Through disciplined accumulation. Month after month. Year after year. You don't need their permission. You do not need to explain why you are budgeting carefully. You do not need to justify why you skipped unnecessary spending. You are building something bigger than temporary pleasure. You are building stability. And stability changes your entire mindset. A person with savings thinks differently. They sleep differently. They handle problems differently. Because money and savings creates psychological strength. You stop feeling trapped. You stop feeling desperate. You stop making emotional decisions out of panic. Savings create breathing room. And breathing room creates better decisions. That's why paying yourself first matters so much. Because every month you save money, you send yourself a message. My future matters. That message changes your identity slowly. You begin respecting your future more than your impulses. That is maturity. That is discipline. That is transformation. You have a choice. You can continue spending first and struggling later. Or you can save first and build peace later. The pain is unavoidable either way. One pain creates growth. The other creates regret. Choose wisely. Remember this forever. The goal is not to save money once. The goal is to become a person who always saves money. Identity over intensity. Consistency over emotion. Systems over motivation. That's the key. You learn how to stop wasting money trying to impress people. Now you understand how to protect your future before the world takes your salary from you. Good. But there is another danger destroying people financially every single day. Small expenses. Tiny habits. Silent leaks that slowly sink entire futures. And most people never even notice them. Chapter 3. The small daily expenses are destroying your future. Most people do not lose their money in one dramatic moment. They lose it slowly. Quietly. Daily. One small expense at a time. That is why they never notice the damage until years have passed. A coffee here. Food delivery there. A quick online purchase. Another subscription. Another small reward. Another unnecessary convenience. Individually, each expense feels harmless. Together, they destroy financial progress. That's the key. People love blaming big expenses for their financial problems. But in reality, small daily habits often create the deepest financial wounds. Because small spending is repeated constantly. And repetition creates consequences. You have a choice. You can ignore the small leaks in your financial life. Or you can finally understand that tiny daily behaviors shape your future more than occasional big purchases. Most people underestimate consistency. That is their mistake. A person spends 25 reals daily on unnecessary food delivery. That does not feel dangerous. But multiply it across weeks, across months, across years. Now the number becomes painful. Thousands disappearing for temporary comfort, temporary convenience, temporary cravings. And while the money disappears, opportunities disappear with it. Savings disappear with it. Freedom disappears with it. That's the truth. Small expenses are dangerous because they feel emotionally justified. People say, "It's only a little. I work hard. I deserve it. I'll save next month." Those sentences sound harmless. But repeated daily, they create financial weakness. You must stop normalizing unnecessary spending, especially emotional spending. Many people do not spend because they need something. They spend because they feel something. Stress, boredom, loneliness, exhaustion, insecurity. And companies understand this perfectly. That is why modern marketing attacks emotions constantly. Treat yourself. You deserve it. Buy now. Limited offer. Everything is designed to make you spend emotionally instead of thinking logically. And emotional spending keeps people financially trapped. You don't need their permission. You do not need to copy modern consumer culture. You do not need to spend money every time you feel uncomfortable. In fact, learning to sit with discomfort without spending money is a superpower. Because financially disciplined people understand something most people never learn. Comfort is expensive. Convenience is expensive. Impulse is expensive. Discipline saves money. That's the key. Look at how people spend today. Subscriptions they barely use. Streaming platforms. Gaming purchases. Late-night food delivery. Daily snacks. Impulse shopping online. Tiny transactions repeated endlessly. And because each expense feels small, people never calculate the real damage. But disciplined people calculate everything. Because awareness changes behavior. You must begin tracking your money honestly. Not emotionally. Honestly. Where is your salary actually going? Most people are shocked when they finally see the truth. Hundreds disappear into habits they barely even remember. That is dangerous. Because money ignored becomes money wasted. You have a choice. You can continue pretending small spending does not matter. Or you can realize that financial freedom is built through small disciplined actions repeated consistently. Not dramatic moments. Daily discipline. A person who controls daily spending eventually controls their future. A person who ignores daily spending eventually loses control completely. That's how it works. Think about this carefully. A person says they cannot save money, but they buy coffee outside every morning. They order food multiple times weekly. They shop online when bored. They upgrade things unnecessarily. Then they wonder why savings never grow. The problem is not lack of income anymore. The problem is unconscious behavior. It's not about poverty. It's about patterns. That's the key. Patterns create outcomes. Your daily habits are silently building your future right now. Every repeated action matters. Every repeated expense matters. Every repeated excuse matters. Most people are not financially destroyed by emergencies. They are financially destroyed by undisciplined routines. Small leaks sink big ships. Never forget that. The dangerous thing about lifestyle habits is that they become invisible. People stop questioning them. Daily spending becomes automatic. And automatic behavior controls life. This is why awareness is powerful. Before buying anything, pause. Ask yourself, is this improving my future or stealing from it? That question changes behavior, because every unnecessary expense carries hidden costs. Not only the money spent today, but the savings lost tomorrow, the investment lost next year, the opportunity lost later. People only see the price. Disciplined people see the long-term consequence. That is the difference. You don't need their permission. You do not need to follow habits that everyone else normalized. Just because society encourages constant spending does not mean you must participate. Remember this clearly. Companies become rich when consumers lose discipline. Your lack of control funds someone else's success. Think about that. Every impulsive purchase strengthens businesses while weakening your future. That is why self-control matters so much. Not because saving is exciting, but because freedom requires discipline. You must also understand the emotional trap of reward spending. This destroys many hardworking people. They work hard all week. Then they spend excessively to feel better temporarily. Weekend shopping, expensive meals, entertainment spending, impulse rewards. And by the end of the month, they have nothing left except memories and receipts. That cycle must stop. Reward yourself with progress, not consumption. Reward yourself with savings growth. Reward yourself with reduced stress. Reward yourself with financial control. That creates lasting peace instead of temporary excitement. You have a choice: temporary pleasure or long-term stability. Most people choose pleasure. That is why most people stay financially stressed. Discipline feels difficult in the moment, but regret feels worse later. That's the truth. You must train yourself to delay gratification, to pause before spending, to separate wants from needs. Because modern life constantly encourages speed, fast delivery, one-click purchasing, instant entertainment, instant consumption. But financial freedom requires slowness, awareness, patience, control. That's the key. The strongest savers are not always the highest earners. Often, they are simply the people who mastered small decisions. Because small decisions repeated daily become powerful outcomes. A person saving small amounts consistently for years becomes financially stronger than someone earning more but spending carelessly. Again, behavior matters more than income. Never underestimate small disciplined actions. A small daily saving becomes large over time. A small daily waste also becomes large over time. Both paths compound. Both paths shape your future. You choose which one you follow. Every single day. Remember this forever. Your future is not destroyed suddenly. It is destroyed quietly through repeated careless habits. And your future is not built dramatically either. It is built quietly through repeated disciplined habits. Small leaks sink big ships. But small disciplined actions build powerful lives. That's the key. You stopped spending to impress people. You learned to pay yourself first. Now you understand how tiny daily habits quietly shape your entire financial future. Good. But controlling small spending is not enough if your entire lifestyle keeps becoming more expensive every year. That is another trap. And most people walk into it willingly. Chapter 4. Create a life that costs less to live. Most people think financial freedom comes from earning more money. That is only half the truth. Because no matter how much money enters your life, if your lifestyle keeps becoming more expensive, you will always feel pressure. Always. That's the trap. People increase their salary, then immediately increase their expenses. Bigger apartment, more expensive car, luxury habits, unnecessary upgrades. and suddenly the extra income disappears. Again, nothing changes except the level of stress. That is why many high earners are still financially trapped. They earn more, but they also consume more. You have a choice. You can build a lifestyle that drains your energy every month. Or you can build a life that gives you breathing room. That's the key. Financial peace is not only about income. It is about reducing the cost of your existence. Think carefully about that. A person earning an average salary with low expenses can live more peacefully than a high earner drowning in financial pressure. Because freedom is not determined only by how much you earn. Freedom is determined by how much you keep. And most people keep very little. Why? Because modern society trains people to constantly upgrade. Upgrade the phone. Upgrade the car. Upgrade the furniture. Upgrade the vacations. Upgrade the lifestyle. Everything becomes a race. And races are expensive. Especially when you are competing with people who are also financially struggling. That's the truth. You don't need their permission. You do not need to upgrade your life every time your salary increases. In fact, one of the smartest financial decisions you can make is maintaining simplicity while your income grows. That creates power. That creates savings. That creates options. Most people cannot imagine living below their means because their identity depends on appearance. But disciplined people think differently. They care more about stability than performance. More about peace than attention. More about freedom than luxury. That mindset changes everything. You must stop asking, "How can I look successful?" and start asking, "How can I reduce financial pressure?" Because pressure destroys peace. Pressure destroys sleep. Pressure destroys confidence. And unnecessary lifestyle costs create endless pressure. That's the key. Look honestly at your current life. How many expenses are truly necessary? Not emotionally necessary. Actually necessary. Many people are paying for lifestyles they cannot truly afford. Not because survival requires it. Because ego requires it. That is dangerous. You must normalize simplicity. Simple living is not failure. Simple living is strategy. A smaller apartment can increase savings. Cooking at home can reduce financial stress. Driving a reliable car instead of an expensive status symbol can accelerate freedom. Avoiding luxury habits can protect your future. These are not sacrifices. These are intelligent decisions. It's not about deprivation. It's about control. That's the key. Most financial suffering comes from trying to maintain appearances. People exhaust themselves working harder just to support expensive lifestyles they barely even enjoy anymore. That cycle becomes a prison. Wake up. Work. Spend. Repeat. No freedom. No savings. No peace. Only pressure. You have a choice. You can continue increasing your lifestyle costs every year. Or you can create a life that becomes easier to maintain financially. One path creates anxiety. The other creates stability. Choose wisely. Many people believe simplicity means weakness. But disciplined simplicity is strength. Because simple lives are flexible. Flexible lives survive emergencies better. Flexible lives recover faster. Flexible lives allow savings to grow. And savings create freedom. That's why financially disciplined people often look ordinary. They are not obsessed with displaying wealth. They are focused on building it quietly. You don't need their permission. You do not need applause for living responsibly. Some people may laugh at your discipline. Let them laugh. Many people mocking financial discipline are secretly drowning in bills. Never forget that. The loudest lifestyles are often hiding the deepest stress. Real financial confidence is quiet. A financially strong person does not need to constantly prove anything, because security speaks for itself. You must also understand the emotional addiction to upgrading. This is one of the biggest financial traps in modern life. A person buys something new, feels excited briefly, then adapts quickly, and suddenly the excitement disappears. Now they need another purchase, another upgrade, another experience, another distraction. This cycle never ends, because consumption cannot permanently satisfy emotional emptiness. That's why some people earn more every year but never feel financially secure. They confuse pleasure with peace. Pleasure is temporary. Peace is stability. Massive difference. That's the key. You should build a lifestyle designed around freedom, not appearance. Freedom means lower stress. Freedom means savings. Freedom means flexibility. Freedom means fewer financial obligations controlling your decisions. Imagine having lower monthly expenses, lower debt, lower pressure. Suddenly, life changes. Job loss becomes less terrifying. Unexpected expenses become manageable. Opportunities become possible. Because low-cost living creates breathing room. And breathing room creates power. Most people never experience this because they are trapped in lifestyle inflation. Every extra salary increase becomes another excuse to spend more. That behavior guarantees long-term stress. No matter how much money arrives, you must become disciplined enough to resist unnecessary upgrades, especially when society pressures you constantly. Because modern culture worships consumption. Buy more, own more, display more. But ownership without discipline becomes burden. Many people do not own their possessions. Their possessions own them. The expensive car controls their salary. The luxury apartment controls their decisions. The high-cost lifestyle controls their peace. That is not freedom. That is financial dependency disguised as success. You have a choice. You can build a lifestyle that forces you to work endlessly just to survive. Or you can build a lifestyle that allows you to breathe, save, and grow stronger financially every year. One path creates exhaustion. The other creates control. That's the key. Remember this forever. A cheaper lifestyle is not a downgrade if it increases your freedom. Freedom is the real upgrade. Savings are the real luxury. Peace of mind is the real status symbol. Everything else is temporary performance. The people constantly trying to look rich often sacrifice the very thing that matters most: control over their future. Do not make that mistake. Protect your future aggressively. Reduce unnecessary expenses aggressively. Simplify your life intentionally. Because every reduced expense increases your ability to save. And every saved real increases your freedom. That is how financial strength is built. Quietly, patiently, consistently. You stopped spending to impress people. You learned to pay yourself first. You discovered how small daily habits quietly destroy financial progress. Now you understand that creating a low-cost lifestyle is one of the fastest paths toward financial peace. Good. But there is another financial enemy destroying millions of lives every single month: debt. And most people do not realize how dangerous it truly is until years later. Chapter 5: Debt is stealing your salary before you receive it. Most people think debt is normal. That belief is destroying their future. Slowly, silently, every single month. Debt has become so common that people no longer question it. Car loans, credit cards, installment plans, buy now pay later systems, personal loans, monthly payments everywhere. People call this modern living. But many are living financially trapped without even realizing it. That's the truth. Debt steals money from your future before you even earn it. Think carefully about that. You work next month, but part of your salary already belongs to past decisions, past spending, past impulses, past emotional purchases. That is dangerous. You have a choice. You can continue borrowing against your future, or you can begin building a future that belongs to you. That's the key. Most people do not understand the psychological damage debt creates. They only see the monthly payment. They do not see the pressure, the anxiety, the dependence, the lack of freedom. Every debt creates obligation, and too many obligations destroy peace. A person drowning in debt cannot think clearly, because survival pressure controls their decisions. They stay in jobs they hate because payments are waiting. They tolerate stress because bills are waiting. They fear risk because debt is waiting. Debt limits options. Freedom disappears. That's why debt is dangerous. Not only financially, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. You don't need their permission. You do not need to copy a society addicted to financing everything. Many people buy things they cannot afford simply because someone approved the loan. Listen carefully. Being approved does not mean you can afford it. That's one of the biggest lies modern finance sells people. Banks profit when people stay in debt. Credit card companies profit when discipline disappears. Installment systems profit when impatience controls behavior. The system encourages consumption because consumption creates profit. But your responsibility is protecting your future, not feeding endless financial traps. That's the key. Most debt begins emotionally. A person wants instant gratification, instant comfort, instant status, instant pleasure. So instead of waiting and saving, they borrow. And borrowing creates chains. The dangerous part is that debt often feels small at first. Only a small monthly payment. Only a few installments. Only one credit card. Then the pattern repeats. More debt. More payments. More pressure. Until the salary feels smaller and smaller every month. Because debt keeps eating it before you even touch it. That's the truth. Many people are not working for themselves anymore. They are working for payments. Car payments. Phone payments. Interest payments. Loan payments. Their salary arrives already wounded. Already divided. Already controlled. That is not financial freedom. That is financial servitude. You have a choice. You can continue feeding debt. Or you can begin removing financial chains from your life one by one. That's the key. Understand this clearly. Debt delays freedom. Every debt extends financial pressure further into the future. Especially high-interest debt. Credit cards are one of the biggest financial traps in modern society. Why? Because they encourage emotional spending disconnected from reality. People spend money they have not earned yet. That behavior destroys discipline. A credit card makes expensive purchases feel painless in the moment. But later, interest arrives. Pressure arrives. Regret arrives. And many people repeat the cycle again and again. Minimum payments. Accumulating interest. Permanent financial stress. That cycle can destroy years of progress. You must become aggressive about eliminating unnecessary debt. Aggressive. Not casual. Not someday. Urgent. Because every month debt survives, it steals more of your future. That's why disciplined people attack debt strategically. One payment at a time. One balance at a time. Consistently. Patiently. Relentlessly. Because freedom matters more than temporary comfort. You don't need their permission. You do not need to participate in endless financing culture. Many wealthy-looking lifestyles are actually debt-funded illusions. Remember that. Some people appear successful while secretly suffocating financially. Expensive car, luxury apartment, designer lifestyle, massive stress behind closed doors. Appearances lie. Debt statements do not. That's the key. A financially disciplined person understands delayed gratification. If they cannot afford something responsibly, they wait. They save. They plan. Because patience protects peace. Impatience creates pressure. Most financial mistakes are not mathematical. They are emotional. People borrow emotionally, then suffer financially. That pattern must stop. You must train yourself to pause before creating obligations. Ask yourself, will this purchase increase freedom or increase pressure? That question can save you years of stress. Because every debt changes your future obligations. Every debt reduces flexibility. Every debt increases dependence on future income. And dependence creates fear. Think about how many people cannot leave toxic jobs because debt controls them. They need every paycheck desperately. Because obligations are waiting. That is why savings create power and debt removes it. Savings give you options. Debt removes options. Savings reduce stress. Debt increases stress. Savings create breathing room. Debt creates panic. Massive difference. That's the truth. Now listen carefully. Not all debt is equal. Some debt may help create opportunity or assets. But most consumer debt exists because of impatience and lifestyle pressure. And consumer debt is dangerous because the purchased item usually loses value while the stress remains. The excitement fades quickly. The payment does not. Remember that forever. People often buy temporary pleasure using long-term payments. That is one of the worst financial habits possible. Temporary excitement. Permanent obligation. You have a choice. You can continue financing a lifestyle you cannot truly sustain. Or you can simplify your life and aggressively reclaim control over your money. One path creates endless stress. The other creates freedom. Choose wisely. Freedom requires sacrifice. That is reality. You may need to stop unnecessary spending temporarily. You may need to reduce luxury habits. You may need to live more simply for a period. Good. Temporary sacrifice is better than permanent financial pressure. Never forget that. A person with less debt sleeps differently, thinks differently, lives differently, because financial obligations no longer control every decision. That is powerful. The goal is not to impress people with expensive possessions. The goal is to own your future. That's the key. Every debt you remove strengthens your life. Every payment completed increases your freedom. Every unnecessary loan avoided protects your future self. This is not punishment. This is self-respect. Because disciplined people understand something clearly. Freedom is more valuable than appearances. Always. You stopped spending to impress people. You learned to pay yourself first. You discovered how small daily habits quietly destroy financial progress. You created a lifestyle that costs less to maintain. Now you understand how debt steals your future before you even live it. Good. But even debt-free people can collapse financially if life suddenly attacks them and they are unprepared. That is why your next mission is critical. Protection. Chapter 6. Build an emergency fund before you build a dream life. Most people do not prepare for emergencies. They prepare for entertainment, for shopping, for vacations, for upgrades. but not for disaster. That is why one unexpected problem can destroy years of financial stability overnight. A job loss, a medical emergency, a family crisis, a sudden repair. One moment, everything changes. And when there are no savings, panic takes control. That's the truth. Life does not ask whether you are financially ready before difficulties arrive. Problems come anyway, unexpectedly, without warning. You have a choice. You can ignore reality and hope nothing goes wrong. Or you can prepare before life tests you. That's the key. Most people think emergency savings are boring until they need them. Then suddenly savings become the most important thing in the world. Because emergencies expose financial truth immediately. A person with no savings enters survival mode instantly. Stress increases. Desperation increases. Bad decisions increase. Why? Because pressure destroys clear thinking. That's why emergency funds matter so much. Not only financially, mentally, emotionally. An emergency fund is not just money. It is protection. Protection from panic. Protection from desperation. Protection from being forced into terrible decisions because life became difficult unexpectedly. That's the key. You don't need their permission. You do not need to follow a culture obsessed only with appearances while ignoring preparation. Many people look successful publicly while being one emergency away from financial collapse privately. Never end the appearances. Respect preparation instead. Because preparation creates stability. And stability creates peace. Imagine two people facing the exact same crisis. One has savings. One does not. The emergency is identical. But the emotional experience becomes completely different. The prepared person feels pressure. The unprepared person feels panic. Massive difference. Savings buy time. And time changes everything. Time allows clearer thinking. Time allows better decisions. Time prevents desperation. That is why emergency funds are powerful. They give you breathing room during chaos. Most people underestimate the value of breathing room until life removes it completely. That's the truth. You must stop believing emergencies are rare. Emergencies are part of life. Cars break down. Jobs disappear. Health problems happen. Families need help. Unexpected expenses arrive constantly. The question is not whether difficulties will come. The question is whether you will be prepared when they do. You have a choice. You can continue pretending everything will always be stable. Or you can build protection before life becomes unstable. That's the key. Many people delay building savings because they want immediate luxury first. Expensive phones, better furniture, vacations, entertainment. Meanwhile, they have zero emergency protection. That behavior is financially dangerous. Why? Because luxury without security creates fragility. One problem can collapse everything. True financial maturity begins when protection becomes more important than appearance. Remember that. An emergency fund should become your first serious financial mission. Before investing heavily. Before luxury purchases. Before lifestyle upgrades. Protection first. Always. Because a strong foundation matters more than temporary excitement. Most financially disciplined people begin with small emergency goals. 1 month of expenses. Then 3 months. Then 6 months. Step by step. Patiently. Consistently. Not emotionally. Not randomly. Systematically. That's the key. Many people fail financially because they only think short term. They think about this weekend, this month, this immediate desire. Disciplined people think differently. They think about protection, security, future stability. That mindset changes everything. You don't need their permission. You do not need to explain why you prioritize savings over unnecessary spending. People who mock preparation usually regret it later when life becomes difficult. And life always becomes difficult eventually. That is reality. An emergency fund creates confidence. Real confidence. Not fake confidence based on appearances. Because when you know you have protection, fear decreases. You stop panicking over every small financial problem. You stop feeling trapped constantly. You begin feeling stronger mentally. That is one of the hidden benefits of savings. Peace of mind. And peace of mind is priceless. Most people spend huge amounts chasing temporary happiness while ignoring long-term peace. That is backwards. Temporary pleasure fades quickly. Financial security continues protecting you long after the excitement disappears. That's the truth. You must also understand this clearly. An emergency fund protects your discipline. Without savings, one emergency can force people into debt immediately. Credit cards, loans, borrowing, financial desperation. But emergency savings interrupt that cycle. They protect you from turning temporary problems into long-term financial suffering. That is powerful. Every real saved for emergencies becomes future protection. You are building a wall between your life and chaos. Brick by brick. Month by month. That's the key. Many people think small savings are meaningless. Wrong. Even small emergency savings create psychological relief. Because progress creates confidence. And confidence creates momentum. A person with even a small financial cushion begins thinking differently. They feel less desperate, less fearful, less reactive. That emotional shift matters. Because fear causes terrible financial decisions. Prepared people make calmer decisions. Calm decisions usually create better outcomes. You have a choice. You can continue living financially exposed. Or you can begin building protection immediately. One path creates vulnerability. The other creates resilience. Choose wisely. Now listen carefully. Your emergency fund must remain sacred. This is not vacation money. Not shopping money. Not entertainment money. Emergency money. Real emergencies only. Because many people destroy their own protection by treating savings casually. Discipline matters. Boundaries matter. Purpose matters. That's the key. The goal of emergency savings is simple. To keep temporary problems from becoming permanent disasters. That is financial intelligence. Life becomes much less terrifying when you are prepared. Unexpected problems still hurt. But they no longer completely control you. That changes everything. A financially prepared person walks through life differently. More calmly. More confidently. More patiently. Because preparation reduces fear. And fear controls many financially weak people. Never forget this. Savings buy time. Time buys options. Options buy freedom. That chain changes lives. You are not building savings because you expect disaster every day. You are building savings because reality is unpredictable. Prepared people survive uncertainty better. That is wisdom, not paranoia. Wisdom. You stopped spending to impress people. You learned to pay yourself first. You discovered how small daily habits quietly destroy financial progress. You simplified your lifestyle. You confronted the danger of debt. Now you understand why emergency savings are one of the greatest forms of financial protection possible. Good. But there is another reason people stay financially weak even when they earn enough money. They confuse entertainment with happiness. And that confusion quietly destroys both money and peace.